I'm good.
Avery, yeah, what's up? What's up? We're live. What's up? It's like we were just talking before, but now it's recorded.
I know. Yeah. So, yeah, this is just a wild experience because I've listened to so many of your episodes. And
I appreciate that so much.
even just walking in, I was like, wow, I've heard your voice so much, and now it's coming from your body, and it's kind of wild.
That's really funny. Yeah, and because like your name has been brought up a few times. I've had a bunch of people from ACEnet, Reggie, Adam Cody, Ronnie Givens, Matt Osler from Nelsonville, Josh Crozier was with ACEnet one time when they came out. So a bunch of people. And so welcome to the ACEnet Always Athens Club, Avery Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here.
For sure. And you have some incredible notes right here in front of you, too. And I don't think that many people, like, no one's ever been like, hey, do you want to, like, look at these notes? But it was like kind of, I was like, oh, shit, I should ask about that.
Okay, cool.
It was good for me, yeah.
I know you do kind of an unscripted format, but I like to say I'm, like, a chaotic type A because a lot of people would maybe think that I have, like, a chaotic energy, but I'm also very... I like to have my lists and like be in control of my notes and all that stuff. So it just makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
So perfect. I appreciate you being open to that.
Yeah, awesome. And so like what's the start of that list? That you popped into Athens around 21 years old? Like that's kind of your entry to Athens? Like what did you know coming to Athens that first time?
So I grew up in Northwest Ohio, out in the middle of cornfields. Actually, the town I grew up outside is called Beaver Dam, Ohio.
Okay. Nice.
There's a truck stop and some a bar, and that's about it. So I'd always kind of heard of Athens as a hippie town, like Athens, Yellow Springs. Those are the hippie spots. So I came down here probably the first time when I was like 20, 21. Went camping at Lake Hope.
Nice.
I remember like going into town and eating at Casa and just thinking, this is the coolest place I've eaten in my whole life. Because at that point, I hadn't really been too many places that interesting in my life. And then I just started coming back from Nelsonville Music Festival. I think my first music fest was in 2011, and I saw the Flaming Lips, and it was like pouring down rain, and we had like mud up to our knees, and it was just probably one of the most interesting experiences I had had at that point. So, Athens always stuck out as a really cool place in my head.
Yeah, okay, so then you visited, you were camping at Lake Hope. How did you find your way back here?
So I'd come to Athens every once in a while for NMF and stuff, but in my 20s, I traveled around a lot. I was in California. I actually lived in Kansas for a little bit, which is random. I was in Columbus for 5 years. That's where I got my graphic design degree. And then I just found myself back living at my mom's house in Northwest Ohio, kind of just like, okay, what am I doing with my life? I'm really bored. I don't want to be here. There's nothing going on. And so I guess rewinding a little bit, when I was probably like 19, I watched a documentary that talked about intentional communities, and I always thought that was a really intriguing idea.
So what does that mean to you, intentional community?
Well, for some people, they would just call it a commune, but I feel like that has a negative connotation.
Yeah, okay.
So intentional community is a friendlier way to describe it, and it's basically just people coming together and sharing land in an intentional way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, just like saying it's a nice word of a commune. It's just like a group of people living together. Yeah.
Yeah, and so also to rewind a little bit, these headphones are kind of hurting my neck a little
You can take them off. For sure.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah, that's okay.
Whew.
Can you still hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So to backtrack a little bit, when I lived in Kansas, I was living in Lawrence, Kansas, which is basically another version of Athens. It's a college town with a really good music and arts culture. And I lived in a student cooperative housing. So it was like 2 houses that they had built an addition in the middle to connect them. And I was living with 40 people.
In one house? It were 2 houses?
Yeah, but we had it was basically an industrial commercial kitchen. We shared meals. We took turns with chores. We had a president, secretary, vice president. We had meetings. So that was my first, and that was really interesting because that was my first experience with, I'd say, power dynamics. there's always some people who are, want to be in charge and want to be in control. And
all they want to do is just you to listen to what they're telling you to do.
Yeah. And so at that point, I was also like 22 years old, really young, and just, just being wild and crazy. And so, okay, fast forward, I was in Northwest Ohio. I had graduated college. I was working a job remotely, so I could kind of go wherever I wanted. And it was like 1 a.m., and I just type in intentional community on Craigslist in the search bar.
Yeah.
And this posting comes up, and it's down in Athens, and it's for this community. And it's just like, I read the posting, and it sounded so amazing. They had just kind of reopened the community up to new people, and they were looking for people to move into their community house. And so the next day, I emailed them, and I said, I have to come right now.
And geographically, where's this at in Athens?
So it's outside of Gloucester.
Okay.
There's kind of like a string of intentional communities. I'm not really going to say which one it was.
Yeah, that's
just
okay.
Because I don't know. They're not really, I think, a community anymore. So, but yeah, so I went down, and it was just, they had almost 100 acres. They have this huge community house. There was people homesteading, building cabins. It was just this complex, and it was beautiful on top of this ridge, and like 360 views of the rolling hills and woods with trails and a pond. And I was like, I have to move here right now. So I ended up moving like less than a month later, and I lived there for almost a year that first year. So this was 2017. Okay. But things got it was kind of overwhelming, because at one point, I think that when I moved out, I was sharing a house with, I want to say 12 or 13 people, 3 of them being under the age of 2.
Oh, and this is at the Gloucester place?
Yes, yeah, so we're in the community house.
So like 12 people, okay.
So maybe like 4 of them were living outside the community house, but they were building a house, so they didn't have heat or a kitchen, so they were, in the winter, they were sharing the space and the shower and all of that. So it was, and then I also, this is kind of random, but I found out my cat was dying, and it was all kind of just came to a T, and I was like, I'm just going to go home and back to Lima, Northwest Ohio, and I was still working remotely, so I could kind of just do whatever I wanted.
So you were working remotely while you were even in Gloucester for the same company?
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting a little off track here.
No, okay.
So, yeah, that was interesting, because when I was there, I was living completely off grid, like 100%.
So how do you work remotely off grid? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever experienced HughesNet, but it's not good internet.
Never have, thankfully.
And as a graphic designer, I was working for a company in Seattle, and so I was uploading and downloading huge files. And basically, it would just take forever, and I paid extra to have a bigger data plan. But I did eventually start working out of a co-working space in Athens, so this is a good time to shout them out. Athens Works, which actually now is kind of turning into the Blue Dot Co-working, which is going into the new Armory space. So one of the guys that's running that, Ben Lockman, is really amazing, and I got to check out the space recently. It's beautiful, so if anybody's looking for, they have like floating co-working, they have private, large offices, smaller offices. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So
awesome, yeah.
I know they have a wait list right now, so if you want to get on there, I think their website's just blue.coworking.com. But yeah, living completely off-grid, solar and wind power, rainwater catchment, gas for the stove and water heater, composting toilet.
Oh, wow.
Wood burning stove. And so that was just, I don't know. Really,
a different experience than you've had with everything else, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was getting ready to move there, I messaged them and I said, is there a microwave? And they were like, no. When you're on solar like that, unless you have a really good solar array, you generally can't power anything to high voltage.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, my family was kind of used to me doing different things like this, because I had done wolfing, which is like workers on organic farms where you can travel and do farm stays. And That's how I ended up in Kansas. So they were kind of just like, all right, here she goes again.
And so how does the gap between expectation and reality, like living in an intentional community? It sounded like you had a little bit of an experience with it in Kansas. So like maybe that gives you some sort of ability to kind of like narrow the expectation. But yeah, I mean, like, were there things that were better than you thought? Things that weren't? The power dynamic thing seems like it could go hairy quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're back.
I feel like I didn't really have an expectation going into it. I mean, I had stayed on some farms that were like partially off grid or just kind of different and out there. But when I moved there,
I am starting to get a little bit of that. If you just scoot back a little bit, I'll turn the mic up a little bit, and then, yeah, I don't hear it now. Perfect. Cool. One more time. I asked, like, how was the experience? Like, did you have an expectation? Did it meet those? Did it fall short of those?
I think I really just dove in and was like, this is something I've always wanted to do, so let's just do it. And it's definitely an experience that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. I have made lifelong friends from that experience, and I think it's prepared me for learning how to pivot and take on hard things. So living off grid, the house needed a lot of updates when I first moved there, and so there would be times where I would wake up and not have water. Like the cistern would have a crack, and we would have to either wait for it to rain or get water delivered. So, you know, sometimes I'd have to go a few days without showers. You got to get creative. Or I would wake up in the winter and not have power because there wasn't enough sunlight. So that prepared me, because the house I live in now is all electric. But last year, after that big hurricane that kind of like flooded Asheville and stuff, I didn't have power for 5 days.
Wow.
And my house was all electric. And it can feel really frustrating because you don't really have a choice. At least when I was off grid, I could boil water with the gas stove. So I had to get creative and get out my camp stove, use my cooler as the fridge. But I feel like my off-grid experience, I wasn't really panicking. I was just like, okay, let's go get the cooler. Like, this is annoying, but it's fine. And I have a lot of lanterns and solar-powered lights and battery packs from that experience. So I have a really good camping setup now.
Shout out.
Let's just say that. I'm
Nice.
like, okay, this is great. But yeah, I think also, you know, one of the downsides is the structure for the community was meant to be non-hierarchical, but kind of going back to my previous experience living in cooperative housing, there's always some people who are either just going to take the lead or kind of just be in charge, even if you don't necessarily intend to be that way. So that was always a struggle, balancing act, and it was shared decision making. So, like, you know, sometimes our meetings would go 3 hours while we hashed it all out.
Yeah.
But it was also really beautiful moments where we would share meals and steward the land and work on projects around like trimming the apple trees or fixing the fence for the pig. And then also I was living there during the pandemic. So I guess I should say that I ended up moving away for about a year and a half.
Okay, so you were there for about a year.
Yeah.
And you leave for a year and a half. Okay.
And then,
So now we're 2019, 2020. Okay.
yeah, so I went to the Pacific Northwest for a little bit, lived in Portland, Oregon, lived on the coast, came back to Columbus. And then the whole time I was just thinking about Athens. Because, you know, I thought I had wanted to live in Portland my whole life. And so I thought that was the holy grail. But I like to joke that I got to Portland probably 10, 20 years too late.
Yeah, a little too far gone.
Yeah, a little too far gone.
I'm worried about Athens. Kind of like I'll calm it down, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's obviously like it still has really great cool things to do in Portland, and I'm glad to be able to check that off my list. But I just kept finding myself thinking about Athens, thinking about the community, thinking about the simpler way of life. And so I started coming back, and yeah, I pretty much moved the middle of 2019, and then the pandemic hit March 2020, and
kind of a good time to be in the wilderness.
I guess. I was like,
versus a big city.
Gosh, I can't imagine if I had been in Portland or Columbus, because I was living in a little townhouse in Columbus with my dad and stepmom while they were saving up for a house, and like, no, we would have driven each other crazy. That wouldn't have been good. So it was really, I honestly, like, the pandemic didn't really impact me much in the beginning.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, okay.
We definitely kind of went, like, me and my partner at the time were like, okay, now is our excuse to grow all the food. So we had, like, we were growing like 36 different varieties that summer.
Wow.
And it was just absolutely insane. And so actually this is a good chance to talk about one of my first jobs in Athens was at Green Edge Gardens.
Yeah.
Which has since kind of been shut down, but it used to be this huge, like, large-scale farm that grew tons of vegetables, had a bunch of greenhouses, culinary mushrooms, and microgreens, and it was run by Kip and Becky Rondi, who are just amazing, beautiful people, and it's outside of Amesville, which is also the middle of nowhere. So I like to say my like first experience in Athens was not really traditional. A lot of people come here, live in the city, go to OU. My first couple of years in Athens, I was living in the middle of nowhere. I had no signal, no internet. I didn't have a flushing toilet for like a year because the farm had a porta potty. I remember going places and using a flushing toilet, and it was just the strangest thing, weirdest sensation. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So, like, we're pandemic timing, and so, like, are you in an intentional community again when you're talking about you came back in 2019? So you're back in an intentional community, and then how long were you in one before you, like, left again? And then now, like, does that get us to now then?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So I ended up staying there until 2022. So it was about 4 years collectively.
Yeah. Was it at the same place again? Or a different?
So this whole time I've been at that same place that I lived the first time.
Okay.
And then I came back. But I think the pandemic kind of just took its toll. There was older people, there was younger people, and we had to use a lot of caution with interacting with each other, and it kind of just created a little bit of a rift, I guess, and I don't know. So
Is that what led to the dissolution? You said it's dissolved now.
I'm not really sure. I don't really want to make any comments about that. But yeah. So I was kind of over it. I was like, all right, I would like to have some luxuries of life. So I moved
like a flushing toilet.
Yes. So I moved into like a partially off-grid house apartment thing for like a year, and then I moved where I am now, which is completely on the grid. Outside of Fox Lake, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it, and it's beautiful.
Where's Fox Lake at?
Fox Lake is like kind of halfway between Albany and New Marshfield. So if you take 56 out towards, like, if you're going to New Marshfield or Lake Hope, and then you turn left on Radford and right on Baker, it's a little lake. Okay. It looks really small when you drive by, but it actually, if you look at the map, it goes back pretty far. I kayak a lot. It's a really good kayaking spot.
Nice.
A lot of people like to fish, and so my house borders right next to it's the Fox Lake Wilderness Preserve, and it's just super quiet and beautiful, and I feel super lucky getting ready to renew my lease for a third year.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, so after Green Edge, I just feel really lucky that I've been able to work at some really great Athens institutions.
Yeah.
So Green Edge, they ended up retiring, and they parceled off the farm. They sold the farmland to a couple. They sold the microgreen operation off, and then they sold the mushrooms, which I also had been growing the mushrooms, which was also an amazing experience that I could probably talk about forever. I got a job at Kindred Market, They had only been open for about a year. They didn't really have a marketing specialist. And I had my background in graphic design and marketing, so I kind of like convinced the owner, Riley. I started out in the kitchen, and after a week, I was like, I do not want to work in kitchens anymore. I thought this part of my life was over. So I pretty much begged her to give me the job, and she did. And I did that for about 2.5 years. And the thing I really like about Kindred is that it's an amazing hub for the community, and they have a huge emphasis on local food. And I was also encourage you to interview some people from there.
Yeah, I've reached out. I think I fumbled the bag on an email. Like, I think I emailed them.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Riley, though, or somebody. Definitely, I messaged them on Instagram, and they gave me an email.
Okay.
I just fumbled that back. I'll follow up, though, just for you.
Riley Kennard,
cool.
and then Meredith Thompson. She's been there pretty much since the beginning, and she does
Nice.
all the local buying, and she's also owned some other businesses in Athens, so I think she would have an interesting story.
Nice. Yeah.
But so one of the coolest things I got to do when I worked at Kindred was I got to create these events called Makers at the Market, which was a space to kind of foster artists and music and community. And I think I organized probably 10 of them, and I feel like they were all really well attended. People really liked them. And so I've been an artist my whole life, but at that point in my life, I wasn't really in a place where I was making much. So that was my way of being involved in the art community.
Creating the space for them to create.
Yes. And
that's a contribution, right?
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And it was cool because I got to like connect with the artists and the musicians. And so now I've organized other events for other jobs, and it's like I can just hit those people up and be like, hey. And yeah, I'd say my work through Kindred really got me connected to a lot of awesome people in the community. And it was kind of just my jumping off point to start working at ACEnet. So it made sense. Like ACEnet needed a multimedia designer. ACEnet works a lot in the local food space. So I had a really interesting perspective coming in with my background of graphic design, also working on an agriculture farm. And then working in that local grocery store space, if that makes sense.
No, it does, yes.
Okay.
Versus like you going to some monocrop farm and going to Kroger. Like I understand the difference, like in experience, yeah.
Yeah, and I think because at ACEnet, I'm working with a lot of small scale producers and farmers who sell their stuff in Kindred.
Yeah.
So it's like full circle.
Hey, there. A Flower and Time. Keely was just on. She said that she's not very consistent on it. But like she said, she has her products there. I know like Moso Farms like has like pork and beef in there.
Yeah, and then Route 56 hot sauce.
Yeah, I had Heather from the
Thompson.
Makerspace.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think. We have Selly Foods. It's like a West African like cooking paste type situation. We did have gazpacho me up, which was cold gazpacho, but
I just learned what that was. Like a cold soup? Is it like watermelon tomato thing?
Yeah, traditionally it's tomato or watermelon. But I have seen like I saw a really interesting one the other day, and now I don't remember. But yeah. So
Shout out Kindred, yeah.
Yeah, Kindred's great, and ACEnet has a really good relationship with them.
Yeah, that's cool.
They actually like sponsored our chili cook-off that we did last year, which was cool. And yeah, it's fun. Like Meredith will email me and be like, hey, do you have any new exciting local products? Or I'll email her and be like, hey, we have a new person. Can you, put them on your shelves? And so it's been really nice to like keep fostering that relationship. And so yeah, I feel like my work at ACEnet is really rewarding and gratifying. I'm like the happiest I've been in my whole life. I mean, every day I love waking up and being like, I'm going to go to work and help people. And I know that sounds really maybe like altruistic or whatever, but the thing I also like about it is because I've worked in corporate settings as a graphic designer where I'm working in the big office building and like doing the same thing over and over, or trying to like sell products for this corporate company. And the thing I like about ACEnet is I never know what is going to happen on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know who's going to come in with some wild idea, or and like I also just love meeting with people and listening to their ideas and being like, I can make this happen for you.
Yeah.
Like I can make your vision come to life. And then when they get to see the finished product of, because I do a lot of logos or labels, website design and stuff, and it's just watching them grow and flourish, and I don't know, it's really rewarding. And
what makes it difficult? Like, is it difficult that you have no idea what to expect every day? Like, that can be exciting. Is that also difficult? Or like, what is difficult about your job at ACEnet?
I would say, like, it can be difficult because I do feel like I have a lot of plates spinning at the same time. I do stuff for ACEnet, so I've been doing a lot. This is a good time to shout out. This is our 40th anniversary this year, so we've been doing a lot of planning for some events. And tomorrow, Saturday, 26th, we are going to have a photo exhibit opening reception at the community center.
What time?
From 12 to 2.
12 to 2.
Room C.
Right after the farmer's market. So come to the farmer's market, hang out, and then go right to that.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Or like go hit up a yoga class at Middle Path Yoga.
Shut up. 9 a.m. because it's actually the perfect. So you go to 9 a.m., you get out at 10:15, maybe bring a shirt to change, you get a little sweaty, and then scoot right over. Little avalanche, little flower in
farmer's market.
Yeah, come on.
Come on over.
What a perfect day.
We are going to have some food from some of our vendors. So Happy Snacking Athens that does like beautiful charcuterie boards.
Yeah, yeah.
And Olive Branch Catering. Their stuff is
I've never heard of them.
Amazing. Wow. I'm actually working with them on marketing better. Cool. So, but they've been a longtime client of ours.
Awesome.
His name's Nick, and it's just amazing food. So, yeah, and then we're also going to be having a pizza night at Blaney Family Farm in the end of September. We're still narrowing down details for that. But that's going to be our big fundraising dinner, so keep an eye out for that. But so that's just an example. A lot of my time the last couple of weeks has been dedicated to planning this event with some of my coworkers and designing the photo panels. So like some of my other clients who have logos or labels have gone and put it on the back burner, and I feel bad, but I can only do so much.
Yeah.
And but I also do a lot of work with nonprofits. So like earlier this week, I was helping with registration at the Orca Outdoor Regional Conference.
What is that?
Over at OU. So Orca is, I always get this wrong, Outdoor Recreational Council of Appalachia. So they're the nonprofit that basically manages the Bailey's Trail System in Chansey.
Okay.
And they got a grant to throw this huge outdoor recreation conference, and it was 4 days this week, and just brought in a bunch of people from like the tourism and outdoor rec industry. There's different panels, networking. They did like optional adventures, so you could like go to Bailey's or go canoeing. I think at Raccoon Creek or Hawking. Anyway, so that's the other thing I love about ACEnet. I was just gonna keep going on about ACEnet.
Please do.
Is working with these amazing nonprofits like David Butcher from Taylortown People of Color, like Ada Adams from Multicultural Genealogical Center in Chester Hill. Working on a lot of different downtown revitalization projects with John Wittenberg from Ohio Winding Road. All of these people I'm shouting out are people that you should interview.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work in Shawnee, Chester Hill, Gloucester. And it's just, and regional supply chains. And I travel a lot to West Virginia with partner organizations, and I just learned so much about Appalachia because I'm not from here originally. Although recently I did put it together that my ancestors are from Appalachia, like Holmes County, which you might not necessarily consider, but it is actually pretty hilly. That's like Amish country. So if you think of Berlin, like, you know, kind of like the commercial, like where people go to travel and like they go to like Berlin, Ohio, and there's all these Amish like country stores and like
just
cabins
like East Ohio,
and
towards Pennsylvania.
So I would say about an hour or two east of Mansfield.
Yeah. So
and maybe
northeast.
like an hour south of Cleveland.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I mean, there's like, that's the first time I've seen a flock of dairy cows on a giant green grassy hill. I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, I don't know. So, and then my grandma's family was from Appalachian, Pennsylvania, which I had the opportunity to visit recently and is also really beautiful. So where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. I was kind of just going to segue into how working with the different nonprofits inspired me to go back to college.
Do it, yeah. Yeah, here we are.
Do you have any questions for me? I'm really leading this conversation.
No, that's how it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I might need to take a break for a second.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
Are we back? We're back. All right. This was great. Avery, the last couple minutes we were just looking around the studio, talking about where everything came from. And it was really funny. Like you knew that was Invisible Ground before I said it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that, Talcon. Yeah. You knew Ashley Wants. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like the thing that keeps me staying in Athens really is I've never felt more at home anywhere in my whole life. And I've been one who's always kind of wandered and moved around. And even my parents are like, wow, you've been there for like 8 years now. And like, yeah, I love it. It's amazing. I love being able to go to the store or the bar or whatever and run into people I know.
That will be friendly. Not only people that you know, but people that will wave at you.
That'll be friendly. And even just going to events, I don't have anyone. I'm really bad about planning ahead. So something will be going on. I'm like, oh, I want to go. And then I ask people and they already have plans. So then I just go because I know that I'll probably run into 5 different people that I know. And just like my work through Kindred and ACEnet has gotten me really connected with people. And so, yeah, I've worked with a lot of the people you've interviewed.
That's funny. And also, one more thing. Shout out to John Slater for hooking up that 6 song. I just played it for you. It's incredible. Yes, I love it so much.
John is great. And I'm really hoping that you do record a John Slater episode because I was just telling you how he has a pretty interesting story and perspective. Him and I worked together at Kindred Market, and we're really good friends. And now he works out of the kitchen at ACEnet. So, like, that's just Athens for you. It's just everybody's connected in so many different ways. And
mycelial network.
Yes, yes. It's the Athens. What did somebody call it the other day? I don't know. But
Anyway, so before we took a break, we were talking about how getting involved with these nonprofit organizations inspired you to go back to school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Definitely. So, I had always kind of wanted to go back to school. Graphic design wasn't necessarily my passion. It just made sense. I had been working. I actually didn't graduate college until I was 25. And so I had just been wandering around and working in a lot of kitchens, just working like crap jobs, not making any money. And so my family really pushed me to pursue graphic design because it's somewhat decent paying industry, and I'm creative and I'm good with computers. So I've been doing graphic design. It's been paying the bills, but I haven't felt totally fulfilled. I will say working at ACEnet does feel fulfilling, but when I think about going and working at some corporate place in Columbus or something, I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. So I'd been thinking about going to school, but I wasn't sure what for. And so through this work with the nonprofits, just seeing all these amazing, resilient communities and community members doing all of this great downtown revitalization work, I found it so fascinating. And so I started studying sociology because that's, like the study of society. And I really wanted to focus on sociology of Appalachia. And after taking a summer of classes, my first class was called Social Problems, and I was getting so worked up just when I would read about the laws that had been passed or policies. And I'm like, who passed these? Like, who let this happen? Like, we need people who care. And so that's when I was like, oh, do I want to go into public policy? And so kind of in order to do that, you got to study political science. And never in a million years would I have thought that I would be studying political science. Like, that just seemed, I don't know, icky, like a boring white man job. It just was like, but It's actually just really interesting. I'm super excited to take local law and government. Like, I don't know. It just, when I started looking over the course curriculum, I was like, oh, I actually really am interested in this stuff. I loved my American government class. I loved my history of the United States because, I don't know, I went to a really like underfunded rural high school with this like football coach history teacher who was like pilgrims.
It's so funny.
Like,
a lot of our high school teachers were social studies teachers or math teachers. I feel like math and social studies. One health teacher.
I feel like every single year of my entire K through 12, American history was like pilgrims, you know? And I don't know. There's just so much more depth to it. But also a lot of scary, not good stuff, but we
pillaging, raping.
we won't get into politics in this conversation. But it was just interesting for me to really like learn things from like beginning to end, to have that perspective and see like why we are where we are now. Because I mean, you have to learn from your mistakes, so you need to learn about your history if you're ever gonna try to solve the problem. So yeah, I'll stop talking about politics now.
No, but so explain this to me. So you're at ACEnet and you're taking classes?
Yes.
Yeah, like, okay.
Yes, I am. I'm actually taking a little bit of a break right now because I went pretty full force for a year. I was working full time and going to school full time. So I was actually going to SNHU, which is Southern New Hampshire University, and it's accelerated courses. Yeah. So you take 2 8-week classes in a row. Mm-hmm. So instead of taking 3 or 4 classes for 15, 16 weeks, you're taking accelerated, which I thought would make it easier if I was working full time, but it ended up just being absolutely hectic and crazy. And I got really burnt out and started having some health issues. So I finished.
Good for that you have the self-awareness to acknowledge that and to pull it back to come back to a homeostatic level.
And it's like my last session was over, I think, the end of April. Things had kind of exploded with the stuff going on in the world. I'm not going to comment on. And it was summertime. Yeah. I had gone to school the summer before, and it was depressing.
Yeah, I have some kayaking to do.
Yeah, like
okay.
Feeling guilty for going kayaking because you need to do homework. And also just everything that's happening with, I'm actually like enrolled in public service loan forgiveness right now, and they've been restructuring that. It's been caught up in litigation for the past year. And having to take out more student loans. So it all just felt really kind of uncertain and scary. And I'm like, I don't want to take out more student loans if I'm going to end up having to like pay $800 a month, like if they restructure student loans and all that. So, and also a lot of people have told me just the way that I'm already really connected, they don't really think I need to go back to school.
Yeah, I mean,
that. Like,
I love OU. I needed OU. Like, I got something good out of going to college. I learned I learned a skill that I was able to monetize. Right, like I got something good out of it. But I'd say like 1 in 3 of the 4 people that I probably met at OU probably didn't need to be there, right? Yeah. It's like there's a lot of people, I think that there's a place for it. Just like I think there's a place for a fucking like trade school, Tri-County, right? Over in Nelsonville. Like, whatever. But I could share that sentiment of just like, whoa.
Definitely.
Hold on a minute.
Even with graphic design, it can be frustrating because I'll see advertisements that are like, become a graphic designer in 6 months. And I'm like, okay, yes. Can you make some great stuff in Canva? Sure. But there is something to be said about someone who has worked in Adobe Illustrator every day for years like I have.
But again, college degree is not going to give you that, right?
What did you say?
A college degree
yes.
not going to give you the experience that you're talking about.
I actually used to joke. So I got a 2-year degree from Columbus State Community College because 1, I was broke. 2, I was working full time and I needed to just get something as fast as I could.
Yeah.
But I used to joke that I was really just paying for a diploma because the curriculum was so outdated that I was still teaching myself all the new technology on the side.
Crazy.
And I was going out and networking and doing all these things, which is how I got my first job. Graphic design job was from being involved in the Columbus Society of Communicative Arts
Nice.
kind of network. But yeah, college is... yeah, we could probably have a whole other conversation about that. Yeah. But
complex.
Very complex topic. I would love to go to OU. I mean, I think they offer a really great quality education. I've heard
for some degrees. Like again, for that's in my opinion,
yeah.
Right? Not a statement of fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I could do it all over again, I would have done better in high school and gotten better grades and like done the traditional 4-year thing, but I was kind of a little rebel back then and didn't care and barely even graduated. Right?
That was something Ashley Wines kept saying, and that's okay. You know, and that's okay. It's okay that you had the experience you did. You know, you're not less because you didn't go to a 4-year degree. And even if you like don't finish pursuing it now, you know, like it there's no correlation to like
exactly, which kind of goes into another thing I wanted to kind of
What's that?
touch on is that something that I've really been reflecting on lately is how the path is not always linear. And I think that's becoming more and more clear these days as the system we have known has been getting blown up into pieces. Like, we are not making $40,000 like our parents did and buying houses and going to college and having children when we're like 22 and being like totally fine.
Yeah.
We're struggling. Going to college doesn't make sense when it costs $150,000 and you're only getting paid $50,000, $60,000 a year. Like
that back to the point of like the only reason it made that it makes sense for me now is that it put me in a position to be able to to pay that back or to have like whatever means to provide for myself. So it was good, but there's just I mean, for every kid I know like that, I know 3 more that graduated and fucking started slinging beers again because it's like I'm just gonna bartend. Fuck it, I'll go move to a ski slope, hang out. You know, like.
I also think it's a lot to expect an 18-year-old to know what they want to do for the rest of their life. The
average college major changes their degree 6 times. That stuff's probably changed.
I know I did.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a junior college right out of high school too. Like, I didn't even take a SAT or ACT because I was like, fuck college, man. But then it was just like all my friends went, and I just was like, fuck, if I'm gonna like show up to a hangout and be like, no, I'm not. You know, I just literally felt I only enrolled in Hocking College because I was afraid that people would judge me for not going to college.
Wow.
And the rest of that, I just figured out. Like I'm really happy that I went to Hocking because in any God, I don't want to say I hope kids don't listen. Kids probably shouldn't listen to a lot of this. Also, you just cussed
a bunch, so like, geez.
Yeah. Well, my mom is getting on me for that. Like, she's like, you can't expect a mom to listen to this with kids in the car. You're saying fuck every other word. Sorry, Mom.
I feel like kids say that word all the time.
You're right. So. I coach them. They do. But well, I don't know. I feel like that's enough there. But
going on about Hocking College.
Yeah. Well, so it's just like I got 60 college credits for $5,000 of student loans, and then left OU with like 50. You know, so it's like I got 2 years of college credits for $5,000 for going to Hocking. So shout out to Hocking for that.
Well, that's how it was with Columbus State. They have it's like 2 and 2
continuation program.
So
yeah.
I had first started going back for sociology there, and I was planning to transfer over to Franklin University as part of their 2 and 2, and you get discounted tuition. So I think Columbus State was $200 a credit hour. Franklin University was $400 a credit hour, but if you did the 2 and 2, then it was only $300 a credit hour, which is still like really insane, honestly.
Yeah. But comparatively, I mean,
and OU is like. Yeah, $600-$700 a credit hour.
I don't remember. I especially don't know
insane.
Now. I'm pretty sure when I was going through college, like me and my buddy, that kind of like we work together now, but like we went to college and like declared our accounting majors together and everything. But like we did the math, and like you probably could have gone to OSU for about the same cost. It's like we understood that the cost of living would have been higher in Columbus, but like tuition, like just bar for bar, OSU was cheaper than OU at the time. And don't fact check this now, but.
OSU and OU have branch locations. So I went to OSU Lima for a while, and it's like super cheap. And I have
Same thing. OU's got like Lancaster, Chillicothe.
Yeah. So I think if you are a kid listening to this podcast right now, don't feel pressured. into going to some big school
Heard
and
that, yeah.
taking out loans that you're going to have to pay for the rest of your life. Like, go to a vocational school, go to a satellite branch, you know, sign up for financial assistance,
Figure it out,
get
man.
the Pell Grant.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate to say that I regret anything, because I think every single decision I've made has brought me to where I am.
Certainly.
And I'm really happy with where I am. But when I was in high school, I had the opportunity where I could have gone to, like, what do they call it? Like a career school.
Yeah. A vocational.
Where you do like the last 2 years of high school. And,
I actually went to one of those. Yeah.
So they had graphic design, but then they also had cosmetology. And I was thinking about both of those. And I really do think that would have set me up to be making more than like $7 an hour when I first graduated.
Yeah.
So that's always a good option too. But
Tri-County is the one. Like I went there for a year, but
Tri-County.
Yeah.
But I feel like we just got sidetracked a little bit, but it's okay.
That's how this podcast usually goes.
I did want to give a shout out to Leadership Athens County program.
What's that? Yeah.
So that's through the Athens County Foundation, which is, I would say, like philanthropic. I don't know if I'm saying that word right.
That sounds good.
Philanthropic organization that just fosters space and gives money to different initiatives in Athens. And they have this long-running Leadership Athens program that is a 9-month program. And I just graduated in May, and I actually graduated with Ahmed from Athens Lens.
Yeah.
Love him. He's great. Really funny guy. And so basically you spend 9 months, you meet for one whole day every month for 9 months, and you learn about different social issues around Athens County. So like food insecurity, infrastructure. My mind's blanking right now, but
Those are two good examples.
all the hot topic issues, and you learn from different people who are working in that industry. So for infrastructure, I think we went to COAD, which is the coalition of, oh gosh, I always forget.
Dude, I always forget.
It's like an Appalachian
State Street, right? It's like back off.
Yeah, that like weird looming building that you're like, what is that?
Yeah, never been there.
But they work a lot in like infrastructure and access to broadband and renovating houses and things like that. So we just got to learn from a lot of different professionals in Athens, and it was also a great networking experience. And
how many people were in it?
I think my graduating class was like 25. Actually, the chief of police was in my graduating class.
Wow, cool.
And which was really cool because, and he knows this because I've told him that, we got the list of the people who were going to be in our cohort beforehand, and I was like, the chief of police? That is so weird. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable talking. But he is the most down-to-earth, chillest guy. Like, he's like our age, or I'm not sure how old you are. But
I'm 28.
Okay, I just turned 35.
Cool.
But yeah, he's like in our age group, and he's really chill and awesome, and he cares about the Athens community. And
it's good to hear coming from the chief of police.
Right, yeah.
That's the description you want to hear of your chief of police.
Yeah, his
cool,
name's Nick McGruder.
Cool.
Great guy, down to earth. So like, I wouldn't have gotten like that perspective because, police kind of get like not great perspective of police.
Yeah.
And
that's just
and it does
part of the echo chamber, right? Like social media only showing you the bad things because that's what everyone will click on. It's like you don't see a video of a police officer getting out of his car to buy some kids some ice cream. Like that's happening every day of the summer,
Yeah, there are bad cops. Like we see that every day. Yeah. But it was really great to be in that space with him for so long and learn from him. And like the executive director from SORT was in my cohort, and just different really amazing people, and just learning. I mean, the age group was everywhere from 18 to 70.
Wow.
And all these different backgrounds, and we would sit and discuss all these hot topics and learn from each other. And I also really credit that program to building my confidence because I always have struggled with verbal communication. So the fact that I'm on a podcast right now is really mind-blowing. But we would you were in a safe space to speak your mind and learn how to talk to people about hard things in a really safe and comforting space. And I'm so happy that my work sponsored me, because you do have to pay to be in the program. And they were able, like, I was able to take time off of work to go spend a whole day there.
I'm glad they're investing in you. Yeah.
Yeah, and Adam Cody actually did the same program.
Nice.
A couple years ago. So it's definitely, you should have Danny from Leadership Athens on here, because Esperanza, they are just a really great advocate for the community. So
nice. I'm gonna have to listen to this podcast. You put me on so much game.
I have a list that I've been compiling for you.
Sick.
So
yeah, you did mention that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then it also I joined the board for Visit Athens County recently. They were looking for people who lived outside of Athens proper, who had experience in the other parts of the county, so that they can expand tourism. And so it was kind of just a good...
Is that like Joe Pisto?
No, it's Boone Troyer.
Boone Troyer
is the executive director. Joel Prince.
Joel
Is that
Prince.
who you're thinking
That's
of?
what I'm trying to say. What did I say?
Yeah,
Joe Pisto?
Joel, yeah.
Yeah, anyways. Nice.
And they have a couple other people. I think there's like 4 or 5 people that work there. But
Cool.
So that's been a really interesting experience. Just being able to bring that perspective to Athens County tourism, just from my experience working, like living in Gloucester, living near Albany, and working with all the different communities. And yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to give a shout out to Visit Athens County.
Cool.
And you should also have Boone on your podcast.
Yeah, the Innovation Center, like, so when you become a client of the Innovation Center, like, I have these executive coaching sessions with Colleen Caro, Stacy Strauss, and
nice.
Do you know Stacy?
No, but like,
okay.
just
No, it's cool.
It kind of just hit me. You said executive coaching, like that.
Yeah,
that sounds like a really cool opportunity.
They put me on some game, and that was the name that they had mentioned. Like, honestly, so like that's the thing. Like, the problems at first, I couldn't get anybody to say yes, and then like and then now it's just like the list has gotten so long. Like, somebody's like, "What if you run out of people in Athens?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking right,
not gonna happen."
Yeah, and like now I'm not like, so there's probably like 65 people on this list.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, it's easy for somebody to just spit 8 names, and then, but it's like to get 8 conversations to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's like cool because it's just kind of whatever, way more expansive than I ever thought. Like, I've met more. I mean, I don't know what I thought. Like, I'm talking to these people. Obviously, I'm going to fucking meet them. But, yeah, it's just like I've met so many people. Like, Brian Costco, the Invisible Ground. I haven't posted that episode yet. But that guy, like, in 15 minutes, like, after the pod was over, like, he put, like, it was just so, he gave me so much advice to help my podcast. Like,
that's awesome.
And it was, like, extending an offer. Like, let's meet up for coffee. Like, I can help you, like, look at some equipment. Like, it's just, like, so fucking great. It's so helpful. Like, they actually are helping. They're not just, like, virtue signaling. They're not just trying to, like, make it look like to the public like they're trying to help. Like, when the recording was off and nobody else is in the room, this dude was just like, I want to help you. And it's so great. It's so, and that's Athens. That's why I love Athens. It's why I'll never leave. Like, the people here care, man. Like, they care.
Yes.
They really do.
Yes. I love it. I know. And it's so hard to explain. Like, sometimes my family will be like, why are you living in the poorest county in Ohio? And I'm like, that's not, like...
I think part of that statistic, though, is that there are college kids that are making $4,000 working 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
And like, because they're in Athens for 9 months of the year, they get counted. I'm not saying that Athens isn't an impoverished place. Like, I grew up here with kids that had dirt floors. Like, kids in my 3rd grade class. You know, like, there's poverty here. I do think it's exacerbated a little bit by
skewed a little bit.
I would just like to try to sort that out. Get the students out of that statistics and how bad still bad, still impoverished, still disadvantaged. I don't want to like take away from that, but I do think that's inflated.
And also, like, I didn't mean, like, we were talking about how amazing Athens is, and then I was like, it's the poorest county in Ohio. What I meant was, like, they just don't get it because they're not here day to day.
Yeah, they're not involved. They're not engaged in the community. So it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't get something that you're not a part of. Like, you're not a part of it. You're out of sight, out of mind. You don't have any connection.
So many people stay here.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of just the running joke of like, yeah, I came here for college and then I never left, and now I've been here for 20, 30 years and I'm raising my family. That's how a lot of people are when they stay here. You said a couple of things that made me want to say something. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to run out of people because there's so many. and I think that's one of the things that brought me back was because even though I had only lived here for a year the first time, I had heard about Rural Action. I had heard about community food initiatives. And I had been to all these cool places like Wisteria and Sunflower Festival and like Nelsonville. And
what's Wisteria?
Wisteria? Oh, man. It's like kind of like a commune down, I think it's maybe in Meigs County.
Okay.
They do like all these festivals. Starwood is a big one. They have camping.
Well, just have to Google it. Yeah.
They're kind of known for being a little wild, like naked dances around the fire.
Oh,
so it's like, if that's your flavor, then you should go check it out. And I'm not saying anything that people don't know.
Yeah,
that's like very common. Maybe a stereotype of Wisteria, but that I'm perpetuating. But yeah, that's what brought me back. Because I'm like, these people care about each other. They are looking out for each other. And I think one of the things I thought of, I wanted to say was, it was really hard for me to leave the intentional community because I do want to live in community with people. And I was like pretty lonely at the place I lived for a year after I left. But where I live now is a dead-end road with about 6 or 7 people, and I've really been pushing kind of like fostering a relationship with my neighbors and organizing potlucks and getting us on group chats. And my neighbor across the street like lets me use her Wi-Fi.
Nice.
And for free. And she takes care of my cats, and she's an amazing human. And
so you have to have people to rely on. You're not going to do this life without the help of other people.
I know.
That's true. You know,
I just don't get people who stay inside and watch TV and like, I don't know.
Teach their own. I don't know.
I mean, fine. If that's what you want to do, fine. But like, there's power in community, there's beauty in community, and we as, you know, human beings grew up living as a community, and it's something that we've gotten further and further away from as we've gotten all this new technology and fancy big houses. But like back in the day, you took care of each other, like, and you know, somebody cooked the food, somebody took care of the kids, somebody went out hunting, like, you all came together at the end of the night around the fire. And so, yeah, I think if you feel like you're missing something, you should try joining a club or fostering a space of community. Because I know for me, I was a lone wolf for a lot of my life, and I didn't feel like I belonged. But when I came to Athens, it was like, this is my type of people. Like, I can go out and be weird and be myself, and people will accept me. Like, I went square dancing for the first time a couple weeks ago at Jackie O's, and I was really nervous about it because like, I'm not a dancer, I've never square danced, but I knew that it was going to be a safe, accepting place. And the last thing I will say, and then maybe we can like wrap this up.
Real quick, in the words of John Slater, let's cultivate a sense of belonging. That's in that little song thing I played you, and that's what you're talking about. Let's cultivate that sense of belonging. I'm really happy that you've been able to find that here in Athens. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of opportunities, too. There's a lot of, you know, like Athens Memorial or Athens Artist Memorial Project, or there's like a women's birth circle group. There's all types of book clubs. There's stuff going on at the community center. There's the Athens Public Library. I heard that, actually, talking about the community center, I heard tomorrow at the community center from 12 to 2.
I'm like, what? What's happening? I'm already like, so tomorrow, ACEnet, the nonprofit that I work for, it's our 40th anniversary, and we're doing a special photo exhibit that's actually going to be on display at the community center until the end of September. It's in that hallway between like the main lobby and the community rooms. Where the bathrooms are.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing an opening reception tomorrow from 12 to 2, and it's just going to be a good opportunity for people who have been like involved with ACEnet the last 40 years to come together and mingle. But it's also open to the public, so you can come check it out. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres and some kombucha.
Nice.
And
So you definitely, like, you want people from the community to come roll through tomorrow. What are other ways that the community can support ACEnet? Is it supporting the businesses that are in ACEnet? Is it donating to ACEnet? Like, how can the community support all this effort that you guys are putting into the community at ACEnet?
Yeah, that's a good question. It surprises me how many people don't know about ACEnet. So I think most importantly is spreading the word. Like, if you know someone who's getting ready to start a business, or even someone who has a business and they've been struggling, or someone who has some cool new like restaurant idea, spread the word. Be like, hey, did you know there's a place that can help you basically for free, called ACEnet. And even if you just have a wild idea, just like, come on in. We'll listen. We'll see if it's viable. Obviously, you can donate. There's a donate button on our website. And later this year, at the end of September, we're going to have a fundraising dinner, and I think we're going to be selling 100 tickets. So
Nice.
Just keep an eye on our social media. Like, follow our social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. I think they're both ACEnet Athens. And then we also have an amazing email newsletter that goes out every month that shares a lot about.
How do you get on the newsletter list?
You can sign up on our website. It's on the homepage. So
Perfect.
we share a lot of client updates, partner updates, things that are happening. And then another shout out for people who are listening. One of the latest things I've been doing is moving more into the community education space. So on Monday at the new Community Care Center through Ohio Means Jobs in Nelsonville, I'm going to be teaching a free web design class from 2:30 to 4. I only have 3 people registered, so feel free to get on our Facebook, and there's a Facebook event.
Which Facebook is this?
For ACEnet, sorry.
It is ACEnet's Facebook. Okay.
Well, I think Ohio Means Jobs too. If you
Okay.
get on the ACEnet Facebook, there will be a Facebook event called Web Design 101, and you can click on the constant contact link to register, but you don't have to register. Like, you can just show up.
Yeah.
It's just the room is kind of small capacity. So.
One more time, you said it's Monday at the
Monday.
Ohio Means Jobs in Nelsonville.
Yes, so it's their community care center. It's where the old Fruth Pharmacy used to be. It's like right next to the square,
I'm
directly
glad they finally did something with
down
that.
from
Yeah.
Stewart's Opera House. So that's where Ohio Means Jobs has moved everything. They
Awesome.
moved everyone from Union Street to that building.
Cool.
And ACENet's been offering monthly workshops there. So keep an eye on our newsletter to see what else we're offering. All right, you're gonna have to pull out the cane because I'm gonna keep talking.
No, this is great, Avery. Welcome you back. Recurring invite.
Cool.
If you have something to come talk about, market. Say you want to come back on and talk about how the event in September goes. So you want to come back on with Adam and talk about the dinner before the dinner starts.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
For sure. Think of this as a tool for you to just like advocate for what you want to, ACEnet or beyond, you know?
Yeah.
So,
that
for
would
sure.
be cool to bring some of the ACEnet folks in and just talk about, you know, all the end of year fundraising stuff.
This has been great. One more time, tomorrow, July 26th at the Community Center, 12 to 2. Show up to Middle Path Yoga. There's a hot power flow, 9 a.m. You get out of that about 10:15, scoot over to the market, pick up some good stuff, you know, shout out Flower and Time, shout out Route 56, shout out Avalanche, shout out Quinn Amarette if she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then hit up the ACEnet 40th year celebration, 12 to 2 Community Center.
Yeah, and it's room C, so the door is actually open directly to the outside to the parking lot.
Perfect.
You'll find us.
Awesome. Well, Avery Snyder, this was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Awesome.